Here. Got another one from you. This one is from the Charlotte Dobre subreddit. Am I the asshole for refusing to play along with my husband and my best friend? Writing this on behalf of a friend, her story, my point of view, so that she can get some honest feedback and support. Also, throwaway account and all names change because this is so messy and I don't want anything to come back on my friend. Buckle up, buttercups. We're in for a ride. Then, FYI, there is an update to this story. First, for some background, my friend Sophie, early 40s female, and her husband Noah, early 40s male, have been married for 21 years. They have 3 teenage boys and are such a fun family. My husband, late 30s, and I, late 30s, moved a street over from them about 5 years ago, and we quickly became fast friends. Their kids act like big brothers to our 3 littles, and we do stuff as families a lot. Sunday dinners, babysitting, holidays, etc. Suffice it to say, we adore Sophie and her family. Shortly after we moved in, Sophie introduced me to her best friend, Courtney, early 40s female. Courtney and her husband, Leo, also early 40s, have a big family with a couple kids near my own kids' ages. Courtney and Leo were so warm and welcoming to us too, and our 3 families quickly became thick as thieves. It was so nice having a village to help us when we were so far away from our own families. I grew up super close to cousins and aunts and uncles, and it was so fun to see my own kids building the same kind of relationships with these friends, adopted family members. Now, on to the story. About 2 years ago, Courtney told Sophie and I that she was pregnant. We were over the moon for her and Leo, but genuinely surprised because Leo had had a vasectomy years earlier. She was a bit nervous because with her last pregnancy, she got incredibly sick and almost had to be hospitalized. Sophie and I told her we'd do anything we could to help. We checked in on her a ton, and Sophie often picked up things at the store for her, brought a meal, helped with the kids, etc. Sophie expected no fanfare or recognition. After all, that's what best friends do. Fast forward 9 months, and Courtney gave birth to the cutest baby boy. We all felt instantly in love, and this baby was basically never put down, was always cuddled and loved on. It was basically a constant fight to see who got to hold him. Sophie and Noah were no exceptions. Noah is a kid's best friend. He loved to play and be silly with them, and was a really devoted dad. He was often seen holding new baby, walking with him and soothing him when he cried. Courtney mentioned to both Sophie and I how much she loved that Noah was so comfortable holding the baby and how she wished more men were willing to step in and help in general. Sophie and I both agreed, and the 3 of us shared stories on how our husbands grew into great dads. When time went on, our families all stayed close, but new baby turned 1 and started toddling around and becoming his own little person. I started noticing that Sophie and Courtney seemed to be really busy. Not suspiciously so, just mom life busy. Our twice a month big dinners trickled down to 1, and then none. I assumed that Courtney and Sophie were still doing lots together, and while I miss hanging out with them a lot, I understood that sometimes you just need one-on-one time with your friend. It was also around this time that I noticed Sophie seemed a bit withdrawn and more sad. When I approached her and asked her if she was okay, she said she was struggling with stuff but couldn't say more. I gave her a hug, told her I was always here for her, and didn't push the issue. Everyone else seemed happy and healthy, and life kept going. More time passed. Now we're in 2024. Sophie and I would see each other at church briefly, but we didn't really do much else. I tried to make sure I told her how much I loved her and how amazing she was whenever I saw her, but I didn't want to put any pressure on her to share things if she wasn't ready. I didn't see much of Courtney either, but again, just chalked it up to busy family life and school shenanigans and whatnot. Whenever I did see her, Courtney was happy and bubbly like she always was, and new baby still had everyone wrapped around his finger. This past summer, Sophie asked me to take care of their pets while their family went to visit family across the country for a month. I happily agreed and told her to have fun. She mentioned she and her boys were heading out first, and Noah would follow in a couple weeks when he could get off work. A few days before Noah left, he came to give me the key to the house and thank me for taking care of the pets. He said that Sophie would be back in about a week and a half, and he and the boys would make a boys' road trip and come home after another week. I was excited to see my friend again and hoped that the vacation helped her to feel better. When Sophie got home, she texted and asked if I wanted to have lunch to catch up. I leapt at the chance, picked up some food, and headed over. We gave each other a big hug and spent a couple minutes talking about my family's summer and vacations. I asked her about her trip, and that's when the tone and the conversation took a 180-degree turn. Voice shaking, Sophie told me that she and Noah were getting a divorce and that he had cheated on her with Courtney. New baby was Noah's son, not Leo's. And then Sophie started to cry. I was legitimately in shock. I actually asked her out loud, "Are you being serious?" Not my finest moment, but it shows you how utterly gobsmacked I was. I quickly hugged her as she started to tell me everything. She had found out shortly after new baby's first birthday and had been bullied into keeping this secret for a year and a half. Oh, hell no. There is no way somebody is going to bully me into keeping it a secret that my husband cheated on me and had a baby with my best friend. Ain't no way in hell am I letting that slip or be a secret for a year and a half. Sorry. Back in early 2024, Noah and Courtney had been spotted by a friend of Sophie's at the grocery store one fateful morning. A Monday, of course. They had been kissing and all coupley and holding the new baby. The friend immediately went to Sophie and told her, and when Sophie called Noah to confront him about it, he lied. He said he hadn't seen Courtney at the store and that he didn't know what Sophie was talking about. When Sophie pushed him, saying she had been shown pictures and videos, the friend came with receipts. That's a good friend. He came clean and without any warning announced that new baby was his son and that he and Courtney had had an affair. Noah told Sophie he was coming home from work to talk to her, and she hung up on him. She immediately called Courtney and asked her if she had been with Noah at the grocery store on Monday. Courtney lied as well, saying she hadn't seen him. Sophie pressed harder, telling her that she and Noah had been seen. Courtney kept on denying, and Sophie hung up on her too. That night, Leo came over to see Sophie and told her how important it was that she forgive Noah and Courtney. What? Oh, hell no. So the husband that got cheated on is telling the wife that got cheated on that she needs to forgive them? He's a better man than anybody I know, but oh, hell no. And how everyone needed to keep things as normal as possible for new baby's sake. This was the start of a 1.5-year-long gaslighting campaign against Sophie. She was constantly told that she was making things harder than necessary and that she didn't care about new baby. Hello, it's not new baby at this point. It's affair baby at this point. And although it's not the baby's fault, she absolutely has every right to have every feeling she's feeling. When she tried to set boundaries about seeing Courtney in public, she was told by Courtney, Noah, and Leo that they didn't want visitation and that the only way Noah would be allowed to see new baby was if their families remained friends. She was told that this was the best way to do things for new baby. Okay, well, we're going to just switch. Every time it says new baby, I'm calling it affair baby because they tried to also do that, I feel like, in an effort to gaslight. She was told that this was the best way to do things for affair baby. And why was she making things so hard when she would express how uncomfortable it was doing things together as families? In retaliation, Courtney told Sophie that Noah could watch affair baby, but only when Sophie wasn't around. Sophie wouldn't be allowed around affair baby unless she agreed to let things go back to normal, i.e. Sunday dinners, joint family outings, etc. No. The only thing that we're going to do jointly is this right here. It's going to be coming right across this right here. Oh, hell.